Greetings from the far side of the galaxy. I'm Fury, your alien host with the most, here to bring you a story about ghosts. Cursed spirits actually, but they're basically the same thing. Today, we're looking at Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 147, Even Pandas Cry. I'm not going to lie, this chapter hit me right in the kokoro. Being a fan of Jujutsu Kaisen is like a pendulum. One moment you're happy, and the next moment Gege tears out your heart like this is Indiana Jones. Anyways, sad feelings and broken hearts must be set aside because we have a chapter to review. You know, Yaga was barely in the story, but I'm glad we basically got an entire chapter to him so we can get to learn about his character. Yaga has a bleeding heart. He sympathized with Gojo and didn't criticize him for not killing Geto, and he goes against the higher-up's tendency to execute people who have done no wrong. However, the most impressive thing is that he uses his ability to create autonomous cursed corpses to resurrect loved ones. We'll get into the finer points of Yaga's technique later. Right now, just know that while Yaga may seem harsh and cruel, the man tried his best to help those around him. He even went as far as to use Tengen's barrier to create a place where those resurrected cursed corpses can live an isolated but peaceful life. I don't doubt that the Corpse Forest, a strangely terrifying name for such a cute place, will show up again. I'm not sure how or when, but I'm 80% sure we will. Maybe those cursed corpses over there can be used as a small army to help the good guys at some point. I hope we do visit the forest again at some point. Takeru was a pretty cool kid after all. Speaking of Takeru, I worry about his mother. She doesn't seem to be doing too hot, and frankly, the only thing that seems to be keeping her together at this point is Takeru and her brother Kusakabe. Say what you will about Kusakabe, but it says a lot that this cowardly man is willing to make an enemy out of Jujutsu society just to repay his debt to Yaga. I'd put good money on Kusakabe's sister showing up again, or at least being relevant to Kusakabe's backstory, like the actual reason he doesn't get into tough fights is so he can be alive to take care of his sister. It would recontextualize his cowardice in the Shibuya arc, and I suppose it would further entrench the debt he owes to Yaga. A debt I could see him entering the Colon Games with Panda to try and repay. It's all but explicitly said that Panda has the soul of Yaga's dead son. This does set up a major reveal for Panda to learn, and some Yaga backstory to get to later on. The man was unquestionably ready to die for his son, and if he wasn't already a Chad amongst Chads before, he certainly is now. And Panda's response to Gakuganji is telling. Panda and the other cursed corpses may not be humans, but it'd be wrong to say they don't feel the same emotions. I could see this leading to a character arc about Panda's self-discovery, which could lead to some great character growth, and again, maybe we meet Panda's mom? A quick little side note, that fallen moth at the ending is actually an owlet moth, to which Yaga is named after. The fact that Yaga has now told Gakuganji the secret to self-sustaining corpses changes things quite a bit. Not only will knowing the method of making corpses move Jujutsu Society's target from Yaga to him, but I think it might serve as a catalyst for his growth. Gakuganji might reevaluate the way Jujutsu Society is structured and how it's so willing to sacrifice people who did no wrong. This could push him to switch sides. I kinda hope he does. The good guys could use the guidance of someone with as much experience as Gakuganji at being a sorcerer. I'm actually glad Yaga has probably been put in special grade, mostly because I never realized how insanely strong an autonomous cursed corpse is. Yaga could have literally created an army if he felt like it, and judging from Panda, the autonomous cursed corpses aren't weak at all. An army of around grade 1 sorcerers is insane. I could see how Jujutsu Society would want to know how to make something like that, especially with Kenjaku running around and Sukuna's Vestal still being alive. If Panda joins back up with the good guys, then I could see them not only having to contend with Kenjaku and his machinations during the Colon Game, but sorceries thrown at them by Jujutsu Society itself. Before we finish this chapter review, a moment of silence and an F-rest for an absolute Chad of a man. A rather somber ending to a rather somber chapter. Maybe you should cheer yourself up by watching Ed, Edd and Eddy jump Mihito. Since Jujutsu Kaisen and most of Shonen Jump is on a 3-week break after this, I'll be pausing the chapter reviews, but you should still subscribe so you know when my video about Kugasaki Nobar is out, and maybe leave a like if you're feeling really kind. This is your host Fury, ending transmission.